Hey y'all, it's Crystal. It's been a while, I know, and so I thought I'd pop on and do a little catch up, a little reading update, life update, whatever you want to call it. Let's chat a little bit about me. so yes, it's been a few weeks since I've done sort of a proper kind of update, um, and that's really because I still haven't really been reading very much. I'm still in a little bit of a funk. I think I mentioned that in my last update. I was just kind of feeling a bit of a reading slump. I am back to reading some, at least. I was like, there was a few weeks there I was reading nothing at all. So I am back to reading at least a little bit. So that feels good. I'm trying to kind of get back into the groove. But it's a bit slow going, but it's fine. I'm not stressing it too much or anything like that. Still just, I don't know, like, I don't know if I describe it as just like I'm just in a funk, I feel like we probably all have these little periods of time where we just are like, like, I don't really want to do anything. I just want to come home and veg out and not do anything at all. But yeah, so I'm fine. I'm doing okay. I'm not like, I'm not wallowing around or anything like that, but I'm just, kind of slowly trying to come back to life, So yeah. So I want to, thanks to someone who checked on me. I'm okay. I'm doing fine. So I thought I'd come in here and let you know that I'm okay, if you were wondering. And so let's talk a little bit about reading that I've been doing. So I looked back at an old video about kind of where I kind of left off about the last, kind of books that the last books I've talked about. I went out of practice, so bear with me. So I have just a few kind of, I think one was kind of a straggler from September that I didn't talk about. And then like I said, I've only read a few things here in October so far, but I don't think I ever talked about Bear by Marian. Engle. I did read this in September. I think this was the last book I finished before my reading slump. Let me think. Yeah, because I started reading Stephen King's Fairy Tale, which I think is what put me in this slump. I still haven't picked that book back up again. I don't like it. I don't think I'm going to finish it. So I'm blaming my reading slump on that. But anyway, Bear by Marian Engle. This was one I read for Shorty September, so that's how long ago this has been. This is like sort of a classic, Canadian classic. It came out in 1976. It was reissued in this really lovely, I love this cover, the sort of bear fur. And I ended up really kind of liking this one. I didn't really know what to expect going in because it was like kind of weird, all I heard was like this woman has sex with a bear in here. And I was like, oh, is this about? But I ended up really liking this one. And so a woman, she's kind of works as this, kind of like in a library. So she's charged with this man dies and he leaves his estate, to this library. And so she's charged with like going to this isolated sort of island, and it's like this, like I said, this cottage and the grounds and everything. But she's kind of charged with like going to the cottage, taking some time, going through all his stuff, all of his books, and like, can we save any of this stuff? Is any of it worth, documenting it, all the kind of stuff. That's what she's going there for. And also, this man who had this property has like basically this pet bear, and so she's like, oh, she gets there and it's like, oh, by the way, there's this bear that lives in the back. You just feed him. Can you just feed him for us while you're here? We got somebody that's gonna kind of come for him, eventually. But while you're here, since you're here, just feed him. Feed him a couple times a day. He's tame, whatever. She's like, I guess, And so that's where the bear comes into play. But really, I think it's really the story about this woman. She's kind of, I think, at a crossroads in her life, and she's wondering like, what am I doing with myself? Also, I think she is very much depressed. So she is struggling, I think, with some mental issues, meaning of life kind of stuff. I think that's kind of what I got. Her place in the world, her place as a woman in the world, and so she's dealing with all of that, also finding purpose and meaning in her life. and this bear just happens to be there, and there is sexual stuff with a bear. I want you to know that going in there. So if that weirds you out, just avoid the book. But it isn't really what the book is about. It's not a bear sex book. It's really about this woman struggling with, again, finding sort of meaning in her life, and what she, when you're isolated in, this setting where, you can only get to this place by boat, all this kind of stuff. When you're isolated and you're just with yourself, like what goes through your mind, kind of thing. So it's a very quiet kind of story. It's a slow, kind of a slow churn, a lot of sort of inner dialogue, that kind of thing. But I don't know. I just really liked it. I don't know if I talked it up very much. Again, I'm a bit rusty, so bear with me. But I don't know. I think it's worth your time if you're interested in it. I really liked it. So I'm very glad that I read this one. Again, when you're not quite sure how you're going to feel about something, because it seems a little weird or off, and when you kind of walk away from it enjoying it, I think that's a win-win all around. Yeah. So yeah, I liked it. So yeah, and I did finish the next book of the V.C. Andrews read along, the Castile series, Fallen Hearts. It's V.C. Andrews. We know what we're gonna get here. We continue the story with Heaven as she's getting older, and what happens from there, said drama, family secrets, all those juicy details. So here in October, we're supposed to be reading Gates of Paradise. I haven't quite started it yet, but I want to keep up with this series. We've got 2 more to go. But yeah, I liked it. It was good. It's just soap opera. To me, it's just like a soap opera. So yeah. Okay, so then, let me think. I did finish... I finished. I wasn't reading anything again. I got to here in October, and I was like, I really need to pick up a book. And so I did. I picked up this, The Hellbound, and this is by Yeon Sung-ho, and the art is by Choi Gu-sok, and this is translated. Let me put the translator by Danny Lim. So this is a Korean manhwa. So it's a graphic work. And it was really good, and I was so happy that I actually finally finished a book after several weeks. So I posted like this happy video on Instagram that, whoa, I finished a book, is my slump broken? and yeah, so I was very happy to have read this, and I really enjoyed it. Look at that. So it's a horror type story, and yeah, it's really good. And so basically, okay, so the opening, it starts out, we've got a couple of sort of young men, and they're in this like sort of cafe, and they're looking on their phones at this news article about something that's been kind of going on in the world about people sort of spontaneously dying, and they're like, what's going on, right? And supposedly, like, you get this message, and it's going to tell you at some point you are going to be taken to hell. And so as they are in this cafe, there's this kind of older, middle-aged kind of man, and lo and behold, he gets a message right there at that time who says he's going to be dragged to hell, I think in like 15 minutes. Like, it might be 15 minutes, it might be 5 years, it might be 10 years, it might be 6 days. It's very random about when you're going to be actually dragged to hell. And so then, yeah, these things come out and drag his ass to hell. Yeah. So, and then it turns into a sort of detective story, because they're like, this is just a murder, right? Because what's going on here? So there's a detective that gets involved. There's this whole sort of like cult aspect about these guys that are like really tuning in, like, you need to listen to these messages. This is like, God trying to speak to us to live our lives better. Why are you, what are the sins that these people are doing that they are being dragged to hell? It's a whole thing, and I really loved this. I don't know. I just really liked it, and it's a very layered story, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say, because I don't want to say too much, because these read pretty quickly. But if you're looking to get into horror, manhwa. This one's good, and you may recognize the name Yong Sung-ho as the person that did The Train to Busan, one of the best zombie movies ever made, in my humble opinion. And so he wrote this story, and I think he did a great job. The artwork's really great. It's dark. These creatures are pretty scary, and yeah, I don't know. I just had a really good time with this one. So much so that I immediately bought the second volume, and I've made a small start on it, but I haven't got too much further into it because I just want to see where this will end up. I think maybe it's just a two-parter. So, just read these two, and I think it's finished. I have to double check on that. But yeah, the Hellbound, I definitely recommend. I had a great time with it. So, yay, finishing a book, actually, finally, yay. So, all right, so as we know, it's October, so I've been trying my best to do all of my reading plans which I'm failing, of course, miserably at, which is fine. But I am trying to get in some Black Weenathon stuff. So I have finished Nana by Brandon Massey. I really liked this one too. I thought this was great. So how to describe this one very quickly. So basically, there's a married couple, and right in the beginning of the book, the woman of the couple, she was raised by her grandmother, or I think it was a grandmother, and the grandmother has passed away right here at the beginning of the book. And lo and behold, at the funeral, her sort of long-lost mother shows up, and is trying to kind of weasel her way, back into her life. And she ends up moving in with this couple, and they have is it two children or just one child? I can't remember now. But anyway, they have a small child too, at least one. And so Nana has moved in, and something's off with Nana. You know that from the get-go. Right? Something is just ain't right. And so I just felt compelled to keep reading to know what is going on with Nana? You know what I mean? Because she comes off all super sweet, but she's got some devious plans, and man, it went way in a direction that I wasn't quite expecting, and I just had a great time with this. First time reading Brandon Massey. Finally, he's got a slew of books. I don't know why I haven't read him yet. I'm so happy to have finally read something by him. Can't wait to read more. I love this book. I just thought it was really good, and very well written. The characters were great. Nana, in particular, and it's even though you in the beginning, something's off. Maybe that wouldn't interest people. Oh, she's just crazy, whatever. I think it's knowing that what exactly is going to be coming up, because it could have gone in any number of directions as far as what Nana's plans, ultimate plans were. But so I was very interested to figure out what exactly Nana had up her sleeves, and I wasn't disappointed. I really enjoyed this one, so we would definitely recommend, especially if you've not read Brandon Massey like myself and are wanting to give him a try. This was a good place to start for me anyway, so I liked that one. I liked it a whole heck of a lot. Is that it? Let me look at my little notebook. Yep, so that's all that I finished so far here in October. I'm easing back into it, you know what I mean? I have a few things in progress, though. I'm just about finished with The Living Blood by Tananarive, book 2 of the African Immortal series, and I'm really liking this one. It's Tananarive. I love her writing. She really takes her time with story, with developing character, and the same is in this book too. So we're kind of we pick up a few years later after the end of book 1, and so some characters are a bit older, but and so how book 1 ended was a bit of a shock. So you see how that plays out in book 2, and we learn a lot. Get more information about the actual African Immortals themselves. Something else has gone on, which is kind of mind-blowing and super interesting. I I'm liking it. I'm really enjoying this series, and got to just be continuing on with the series since I'm so terrible at that. I really think about maybe an hour left on this audiobook, so I'll finish that up pretty soon. And yeah, so yay, and another prompt, of course, for Blagoweenathon, am I right? And so yeah, I'm very much enjoying that. Like I said, I did, make a small start on volume 2 of the Hellbound. I'll get back to that one at some point. And I also made a very small start, I think I'm only up to chapter 2, for The Devil's End by D.A. Fowler. This is for the From Hell book club. Kelly had me pick a book for the club this month, so this is what I chose. Seems perfect. It takes place, I think, around Halloween time. But I'm just getting into it, so I'm just a few chapters in, and so we'll see what craziness ensues. I know some in the chat has been like, this is crazy, so I'm looking forward to it. So from there, I don't know. I'm not really gonna plan anything else out. I'm gonna try to finish these that I've got in progress, and then we'll see what I pick up next. I had approximately 129 books on the TBR, so I've got a lot to choose from. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes from there. I'm sorry to be kind of failing at all the readathons that I had wanted to participate in, but life is life at sometimes, Let's see, I did get a little bit of book mail. I'll just show you. Of course, I picked up Juan's book, Poking Holes, Juan Valencia, our very own Plagued by Visions, of course. He released this, and I bought it, doggone it, because I want to support Juan's writing. So I'm very excited to read this, and I've heard it's pretty amazing so far. People have read it, so I'm excited. We'll see when I get into that. Maybe I'll pick this up. I don't know. Maybe I'll pick it up next. We'll see. And I got this in the mail also. This was what do you call it? A Kickstarter? Yeah, I think it was through Kickstarter. So I threw some money at this to help get it published. A Sapphic horror anthology. This is called Moonflowers and Nightshade. And it was put together by Samantha Kolesnik, who we love, yeah. And it's got tons of authors in here. Super excited to get into this. Allie C., Haley Piper, Tiffany Morris, all kinds of folks in here. So really excited. I love a good anthology. So, and anytime you can help put something together, I think it's good. So, and it's a great cover. I think this was done by an NW reader, Christina. So great job on that. Yep. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Excited to get that. I do have some books that I've hauled, so I will sort of, besides these, I'll probably make a little separate video for those. And I want to finish, I think I'd mentioned going to a book festival last month, September. I did vlog some stuff during that time, but I just need to kind of make a wrap up of that. And I still want to put that together and put that out, so I'm going to hopefully try to actually film that today also and finish that out and get that out, because I did, put some time into it at the time, and I do want to talk about my experience at the festival. And again, I found some books also there that I'll talk about, and I have some tags I filmed a month ago that I just need to edit and put out too. So I mean, I'm tiptoeing back in, you know what I mean? So, thanks, for hanging around. If you are, if you've been waiting for anything from me, you maybe haven't, I don't know. And I'm behind on watching videos again. So, I'm going to try to catch up, here pretty soon, at least with, some more of the recent videos that I definitely want to check out. But so if you see me commenting on like a month-old video, that's just me catching up. Other than that, yeah, so, it's just a little over mid-October, so it's already cold here in North Carolina. Crazy cold. But I guess it's about that time. But the fall colors are here, and I'm really enjoying enjoying seeing that, of course. And of course, it's almost Halloween, so, but I've not really been in the Halloween mood. I haven't decorated anything. And I probably won't decorate my interior. I just probably won't. I'm probably going to do my outside stuff for, trick-or-treaters and stuff. I think that's all I'm in the mood for this year. I don't know. I'm not going to push myself too much, yeah? So one more, I did splurge. I did splurge on the big, box set, BTS Proof. That's one thing I splurged on recently, and it's really lovely, and I love it. Yeah, this is their big sort of collection that they came out with this year, sort of documenting the last kind of like 9 years of their career, and so we'll have this at my collection. Very excited about that, and so we'll have a couple of years, Army, to wait while they are doing their military service now. So hang in there if you're an Army like me, and they'll come back bigger and better, and we'll I think they'll come back with some amazing stuff for us. So other than that, we've been watching Andor, which has been amazing. Is anyone else watching it? I'm freaking loving it. I'm loving getting this story behind Cassian Andor, and we try to figure out how he gets involved into the rebellion. We're seeing kind of more intricacies of the Empire, which I'm enjoying also. Mothra, I'm telling you, is an amazing show. It's a bit more adult oriented, which I appreciate. Yeah, let me know if you're watching it, because it is amazing. We did finish She-Hulk. I had a good time with She-Hulk. I know some people bashed She-Hulk, and I wasn't excited about She-Hulk. From the trailers, I was like, I don't know, man. But my husband and I, we watch all the Marvel stuff, so I was like, I'll watch it because we watch it, right? But I ended up having a really good time with She-Hulk, and I think a lot of men didn't like it. But perhaps, sometimes maybe things just aren't made for you. I had a good time with She-Hulk. So, and how about that Daredevil, am I right? Okay, so what else have I been watching? I think that's about it. We've fallen way behind on the new Game of Thrones and way behind on the new Lord of the Rings stuff. We watched like the first 2 episodes and then just kind of fell off. Like I said, we got involved with She-Hulk and Andor. We got kind of wrapped up in those shows. So we'll kind of go back and catch up hopefully at some point of the, Rings of Power and a Dragon, whatever the hell it's called. I think that's about it that I've been. Bjork's new album has been amazing. If you like Bjork, her new album's awesome. New Stray Kids is awesome too. Yeah, so that's what I've been absorbing these past few weeks. So let me know what you've been reading, what you've been watching, what you've been listening to. And let me know if you're watching Andor, because it's amazing. And so I'm going to leave it here because I'm jabbering now. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for hanging in there. And I'm doing okay. And I will try to get back into the swing of things here. I miss making videos. I have missed making them. So let's get back into the swing of things and try to enjoy the rest of my October. Get into the spooky mood. We may try to go maybe to like a pumpkin patch or something today. You gotta carve a jack-o'-lantern. That's like a necessity every year, yeah? And so I'll leave it here. Thanks so much for watching. I always appreciate your time. I'm so thankful for you all. And hang in there. And till next time, my friends. Bye.